Yeah, we're live. It's another Super Desperation Radio. Fuck, I already screwed it up. Didn't even get the word desperation out. Defamation Radio.
I didn't even have
that
to.
That works, right?
Super Defamation
Radio. Is that going to be our special show? Like on
the following people are shitbags.
Oh my god, I'm so tired today. It's been a long week.
We just want to get sued into the ground. That's how we're going to go out. Blaze of glory.
Oh, totally, man. Just both middle fingers raised, sinking with the ship.
Oh, like They Live style?
Oh, totally, man.
I mean, I don't know about the sinking with the ship thing.
You don't want to go down with the IPW ship?
Who says the ship's going to sink?
Yeah, I was going to say. I assume that the Hell Pocket ship will sink long before the I Play Winner.
No, the IPW ship will be fine. You're just going to have that little, show that sucks dinghy sinking. That's what's going to happen.
Oh, my God.
We'll cut our losses much like my uncle. When the market was turning, all he did was sell 2 of his houses, and he kept all the rest of his assets.
Oh,
so.
damn. Only 2?
Only 2? How did you do?
Yep.
F you, Tony.
It's not like they're rich. It's all in, assets.
They're spiritually rich.
People renting and shit, It's like, yeah, we have money, but we're not liquid asset rich. We just got some stuff sometimes.
Sometimes.
I mean, that still means you're rich, technically.
Think about the people who don't have stuff anytime.
That's right.
Like me?
There you go.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Wait a minute.
But soon, you shall start to work.
Yes. Tomorrow.
I think almost everybody is going to be gainfully employed soon, right? Or at least
I'm moderately gainfully employed.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Gibby's got something in the pipeline, maybe?
Hopefully. Nothing ever works out for me because Lancaster. But hey, I'm probably worth more than everyone else on the show, so yeah.
Maybe.
No, definitely, man. Equity, you don't know about this shit.
Equity.
You are you in the title for that house?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Even grandfathered in classic, metaphysics. He's getting a better job too. So.
Oh yeah.
We're both Amazonians. I literally have like a Wonder Woman pin, so I think I'm gonna wear that when I work now.
Yes, I'm from the mascara. No, not the eye care product. The island. They're different, you see. I'm not sure how though.
Just be like, yeah, what's up, guys? This is a colony. Got lots of boxes here.
I can already wait. I can already see it happening.
They have to ship it from the mainland. It's like Hawaii.
That's where everything's made.
That's right. Pretty soon, Lord Walkman broadcasting from a box fort.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see a picture of that.
Please. It's going to be like Box Fortress. It's going to be huge.
Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me.
I'm going to have nice marble columns, but they're not marble. They're cardboard.
How the fuck did we get off topic already?
Hey, we never went off topic. We've been on topic this whole time.
We never had a topic to start.
Yeah. Right. This is the usual, how was your guys' weekend, and what are you doing?
We just got into equity all of a sudden.
Yeah, that's always a touchy subject.
We talk to each other about these things, and the people listening are like, I don't give a shit. Where's the video games?
Do they know that it's live yet?
I don't know.
Wait, we're live?
So, Gabby, I had this colonoscopy this weekend, and I just...
Oh, man. What was it? Invasive?
It was the most invasive.
Oh,
they
man.
broke and entered.
Had a colonoscopy. Let's just say I'm not in the red anymore. Thank goodness.
But Alex, how much weight have you dropped?
I feel like you need like a slide whistle after that joke.
Jesus.
And to answer your question,
so,
you lost 5 pounds.
Chris, come on, let's go live.
Let's go live. Okay, good. Because I was waiting for somebody to say something about the Niners, but we can gloss over that totally and start the show because we've got plenty of things to talk about today that matter.
Okay.
Or so I've been told.
What do you got? What do you got for me, Chris?
What do I have? Personally, I have nothing because I did nothing all weekend except watch SummerSlam. So I'm just going to react to everything.
Mm-hmm. Well prepared as usual, it seems.
I'm really hungry right now. There's chicken in the oven and I can't get it out.
Oh my
What?
God. I don't know.
It's a child-proof oven, everyone. I don't understand why.
I'm hosting a show. I can't just kill the show and go get the chicken.
What?
Here, you guys handle it. I'm going to make myself a plate of chicken. I'll be right back. I leave it in your capable hands.
This shit. We're just going to crash and burn now.
Okay, so yeah, I think Summer Jam is coming up this coming weekend.
Is it this weekend? I couldn't remember if it was this weekend or next weekend.
It's one of these 2 weekends. Let's see. Yeah,
I feel like
it's
yeah, I
definitely
was going to
this
say, I
weekend or
feel
next
like it is
weekend.
this weekend.
Yeah, it should be this
So-
weekend.
This is going to be the first big under-night tournament, obviously. The first quote-unquote major, finger quotes, tournament for the game. It's been getting a lot of solid entrants in weeklies and online tournaments, so it's going to be interesting to see how the game does on a bigger stage.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be really great. It's definitely a game that just like anybody from all walks of games that play, if you're like a fighting game player, and that's really good because, I mean, if you know how to play fighting games, you probably will learn how to play Under Night, pretty expediently. So, seeing all that go down, especially in a more public and wide manner at a major,
Yeah.
See who comes out to compete, and then what after that? Isn't there going to be West Coast Warzone coming up here
actually,
too?
before we even get to that, this weekend also is going to be the first SoCal tournaments for Under Night. There's going to be one apparently at the Runback starting this week.
Oh,
And then Rebel Up is also on Saturday.
nice.
So because Super Arcade is scheduled to open this week, and Wednesday Night Fights and the Runback are supposed to proceed as normal. Or, I mean, it's new, but you know what I mean.
Oh man, I gotta take a trip down there. They're opening up now. Shit.
So that's the plan. I haven't heard anything contrary to that plan, so I'm expecting to go down there on Wednesday just to see how the new place looks.
That's good. Oh, finally, after all the little hiccups that they had to deal with along the way.
Now, is it going to be completely ready to go, or are they still going to be obviously working on stuff?
That I don't know, because I assume that the extra few days were waiting for things to come in, because that was the way Mike's post made it seem, is that they were still just waiting on people to ship them things or to bring them. I'm not sure if it was shipping or actual people just delivering stuff, but I have no idea, to be 100%.
Oh. Yeah,
So
definitely.
the Wednesday Night Fights will be the usual games. Street Fighter 4, which is going to be on PC now, I believe.
Yep.
Then we're also going to have Tekken Tag 2 and Chaos normally on Thursday. Injustice. I guess those are all coming back.
Isn't Yotagaras supposed?
Yeah.
Is
Yotagaras
Yotagaras
Wednesday?
Wednesday or Thursday?
I think it's on Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Okay, and yeah, that's going to be added, and that's going to be interesting as well.
That's
I
really
don't know anything
cool.
about that game, so
I like how they're going for a lot of more of these smaller developmental games that are still pretty solid. So
well, it's interesting because I guess since they are doing SF4 on PC, they felt like why not do another PC game?
Yeah.
So
Why not?
It's interesting. It's
Why
a good
don't
experiment.
fighting game companies just put everything on PC? That's all I want.
It's going to be a good experiment to see how viable PCs are as a tournament format.
Yeah. And I mean, if it
Which
doesn't
is-
work out, they could just patch it pretty easily.
Yeah. And we've been talking about the possibility of that happening for a long time. So moving forward with PC it's a nice step forward that, there's a little risk obviously inherent in it, since it's something that not everybody's used to. And because not everybody's stick is going to work on PC, to be completely honest.
Yeah, that's true. I definitely have a Mad Catz TE round 1 that still doesn't work on things that aren't Intel chipset.
I'm not even thinking about that. What about all the independently made sticks that don't have... I mean, that's an official stick that has Xbox. So you're going to have all these new PCBs probably.
Well, even those will generally get picked up by very generic style inputs. It really depends. It sometimes things don't automatically get recognized, like for the 360 ones as a 360 controller. So it does take a little bit of a hassle to go into the driver manager and make sure that it detects the right one and be like, oh, this was a 360 stick. It just kind of showed up as this other thing for a second. I've had issues with that with other 360 sticks like Horries and whatnot. So I have to go in and manually tell it, hey, this is kind of where the driver's at. Take a look to make sure that it works fine. I'm like, oh, okay. But it usually sorts itself out pretty well. And I mean, if this does become an issue, I'm sure there's ways to circumvent it. There's just gotta program it in. It's just something that hasn't really been done before.
Yeah, that's true. But so going to have a lot of Union action this week, and then like you said, West Coast Warzone is coming up, and the big news that came out of last day or so for that is that Under Night has been added as an official game to West Coast Warzone.
Yes. Yes, the domination of Under Night. The praises we've been singing, the game that a lot of people didn't even talk about for the longest time until it finally came out.
I mean, to be fair, that's because the original version was shit garbage.
Well, yeah, I mean, I didn't care about that either, but I'm talking even when the update came out, I was like, this game's going to be great, guys. Take a look. Here, it's got all this, and then... Because I just remember I was talking to some people, and I'm just like, hey, so what games are you looking forward to? And they're like, oh, I want to play Xrd, I want to play this, I want to play that. I'm like, yeah, how about Under Night? And they're like, yeah, okay, that'll be cool, too. And like, these are anime people I was talking to, and I'm like, oh, well, all right, then. Like, nobody seemed to bat an eye until the game finally got released. But luckily, its popularity seems to be there, very solid. Of course, it doesn't have like thousands of entrants, but it's got a very solid player base at the moment. And if it stays roughly this size, that's still a big game.
Oh yeah. Well, I think the biggest thing for a lot of people was that people had played Melty, but they weren't really in love with Melty, and they certainly didn't take it very seriously.
Yeah.
On the majority, so they were like, yeah, that'll be a neat little diversion game. And they didn't expect it to be much more than that. But it turns out that Uniel is actually really good. It's a solid game. It's a lot of fun, too.
Yeah, that's the best part, is that it's simple, entertaining, and yet it's just like a thinking game, You gotta be able to tell what your opponent's doing, because if one of you mess up, it could mean that someone gets the advantage over you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody about that, and like a lot of people ask me, like, what do you think the GRD bar means? And for me, it means like, there's like a visual cue where you can pretty much anytime during a match tell who's in control of what's going on. Yeah. And in an instant, it can just shift in the opposite direction.
Definitely, like maybe you'll do a combo while you're still at the negative, knock someone away, and then just focus and then just charge up your grid, and it's like, now I have Vorpal, I have the upper hand. Right. Now I'm on the offensive, and then that's when it's things get really scary. And I think that's something that people don't exercise enough in this game yet, is really trying to like gauge when the grid is about to change hands and see what you can do and be like, I'll get less damage out of this, but I'll have Vorpal, so that'll give me guard thrust if I need it, and obviously chain shift, which is always amazing to have.
Mm-hmm. And the damage boost.
Yeah, and 10% damage boost on it. So there's things to think about that, but the more you play it, that becomes really easy to just kind of not have to think about it. It becomes almost like a nature. It's like breathing, It's like, oh, okay, I gotta make sure where my grid's at.
But I think it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, every other part of the country, for the most part, has at least had, well, at least the big name parts of the country. NorCal's had tournaments, New York's had tournaments. I think even Texas has had a few. And then, of course, we've had online where you get to see people dotted all over the country. Mm-hmm. But SoCal has been largely silent, obviously, because the venue has been closed for renovations. So it'll be interesting to see how many people end up showing up.
Hopefully, a lot of people will.
Well, didn't we have one tournament here in SoCal with the UGC?
There's actually been a couple at UGC. I think they might have held their second official one this past weekend, which was dominated by top 3 being all Eltonham players.
Nice. That's a good character.
That's a good character. First place was my buddy Grant, a.k.a. Carafail. So, third strike.
I play him, man. Shit.
Getting in that ass. Yeah, you probably lose to him.
Yeah, you know what?
I've beaten him.
Yeah, you know what's interesting, though, is that UGC is known, but it doesn't seem to get the numbers for stuff outside of Capcom yet.
It's in the valley.
It's way in the valley. It's not easy for a lot of the people that play further inland, or some people that actually do come from the Inland Empire. Like, Super is a pretty good spot for them because it's likely a 40-minute, maybe an hour drive at the most. Whereas UGC, you're looking at over 2 hours to get to.
Yeah, that's a little rough.
Yeah, it's a little rough, and it's in that really weird part of the valley where you're like next to like residential on one side, and there's that weird industrial area where you're like, yes, the Budweiser factory.
Oh, is that where? See, I haven't even been there.
It's around that area.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty north.
Truly God's land.
Yeah.
So it's even a little further north than FFA used to be then.
Well, no, it's actually before FFA, because FFA was off of Devonshire, right before the 118.
Okay.
This is a little past Santa Monica.
Okay,
And-
maybe I'm just not thinking where the Budweiser is right. But
Yeah, the Budweiser's just, I think, in between both of them.
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. But the
But,
interesting
yeah.
thing about that place is that it's more of like a PC cafe kind of place. So like there'll be stations where it's just the monitors and you can just kind of set up whatever you want.
That's kind of nice at least.
Yeah, it's actually really cool. I know that Venue 550 tried to do something like that, except their monitors were like, 50-inch TVs. So it was a spatial thing, but the idea was nice.
Yeah.
It's a little
And of course,
rough.
if you're going to be playing on 50-inch TVs, if you don't have like the $5,000 Sony, you're probably going to have lag.
Yeah.
A little bit, at least a little bit,
Yeah.
And like, it takes up so much space. Anyway, continue.
Oh no, I was going to say also going forward, starting this Wednesday, Super Arcade is apparently going to have a preview of the new Persona game, Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, as we're calling it in America apparently. So they're going to have stations of the game set up so people get to play that, which will be, and it's about a little under 2 weeks before the game releases in Japan.
Wow.
So that's coming out. That's coming up pretty soon. Although I really have to be honest, the more I see about that game,
Yeah, like, how are people feeling about that? Because like, there's a lot of fanfare for it, but I haven't heard anything from actual players.
so there's a lot of people who are already talking about how broken the game is because of Shadow Rage and characters just doing
A billion
80%.
trillion damage.
yeah.
I've definitely seen a couple 100% with like 150 meter.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've heard there are a couple 100%. They're hard and they're super meter intensive, but
I also,
The
if
fact
I
that
remember
they're
right,
there-
they only exist on lower health characters, so you probably end up killing Liz, or otherwise you're doing like 70% to 80 damage on the character.
but even still, that's so much damage.
And so much,
Yeah.
it's also a game that has a burst, so
That's true.
if you're
Yeah.
bursting early against a shadow character, you're kind of setting yourself up to fail. Like,
Yeah.
you're going to let them get to 100 and whatever meter, they're going to Shadow Rage, and suddenly Shadow Mitsuru is just going to do repeated myriad arrows, or whatever the hell that super's called.
Yeah. Definitely at least save your burst for when you're awakened. If you're playing a non-shadow character,
But
So-
honestly, I still really want to play the game, especially with there being 5 new characters. I think it's 5.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Tony's super excited for his boy Adachi.
Oh my god, I will kill everyone.
With
I
Adachi,
will-
right? That's how excited you are for
No!
this character? Like,
Hate that character. I wish he was dead. Have you ever wished hate upon a fictional character?
yes.
I'm sure that people have a lot, actually.
There's a lot of characters I hate in fiction.
Ugh.
Charlie Brown, Holden Caulfield.
What's wrong with Charlie Brown?
Hold on, slow down.
Damn.
What's wrong with Charlie
Oh, we gotta
Brown?
fight. We gotta fight.
All right, look at the names I just did up. Shinji Ikari, Holden Caulfield, Charlie Brown. Biggest marks in literary.
Have you seen the first 10 years of Charlie Brown? That dude was a snarky motherfucker. He
And
was
what-
talking
yeah,
mad
he went
shit.
soft.
To be fair,
Yeah, he went
that's all he had.
soft.
That's
Like,
all he
alright,
had.
so he went soft, and all of a sudden Snoopy's Joe Cool after school, working at the supermarket, bending the rules. Like, he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah. But, Shinji, yeah, well, I don't know.
No, you can't argue against that, man.
Like,
I mean, I hear he does better in the new movies, but I mean, I haven't watched them because, yeah, I don't know.
look, if my dad, for as much as I might hate him or might love him or whatever, like, let's just have a strained relationship with my father, right? If he told me I could pilot this big ass fucking mech that basically synchronizes with my thoughts, I wouldn't be like, oh well, shucks, golly gee, I don't know if I can do it. I'd be out there smashing buildings and fucking up property, even if it's not part of the mission.
Well, going back to the point, fuck Adachi. I wish that character is like DLC for like $80 so nobody buys them. And
You know what? Just because you're saying all this, he's gonna be the best. He's gonna be Kokonoe tier.
Wow. I mean, I didn't play Persona 4 Arena, so Ultra Suplex Hold is something I'll just like keep walking away from. I've already got like a mile on it. I'll just put a couple more.
And that game still looks like I don't know. There's something about it, as trepidatious as I have been about it, because a lot of people bitch and always bitch because, I don't know, because fighting gamers love to do that whenever something that looks slightly broken gets found. Well, yeah. It's still a game I want to play, but then again, I really like Kuma, so yeah, I'll be getting it.
I mean, I'm all for hitting things with a baseball bat, though. So
yeah.
Also, I like Narukami, but I guess he's the best. So it's just like, okay, well,
look, I also like smacking things with bats, and I also like my other love of sicking dogs on people and electrocuting them.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's accurate. We'll see how all the new characters do, because it's going to be interesting. Margaret could be silly if she actually has 9 cards, like they're saying she might. Which would be weird. But
have they actually announced everybody? Because it seems like every week there's a new character announced.
It looks like we're going to just get the 5 now.
Okay.
So that, of course, is Margaret, Marie, Adachi, Ken, and Lord. Brain just... Oh, Rise. I keep forgetting that she exists. I think it's my mind intentionally omitting her.
Yeah.
But she's your favorite.
Yeah, the easier way to do that in the future, Paul, is just the new characters are adding, just anime characters. That's it.
Goku, Sasuke, who else are they
that
putting
big
in the
blob
game?
from Akira?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Oh.
Tetsuo's gonna be there, yeah.
There's 2 Tetsuos. There's the
Shadow Tetsuo, where he has the gun, and then regular Tetsuo, where he just hits you with his motorcycle.
Yeah, there you go.
Then there's definitely, Jack. Jack's gonna be in the game. Who could forget Jack?
I think Spike is probably in there.
Back from the dead.
Yeah, dude.
Spoilers. And everyone's least favorite.
It's only like a 20-year-old anime. Spoilers.
And everyone's least favorite character, Kirino. There we go. That being said, don't worry about it. Let's move on.
I like that. Don't worry about it.
Speaking of new characters in fighting games, Alex's possibly favorite character in a fighting game that hasn't even been debuted yet. He's Beowulf, kind of, sort of shown for Skullgirls.
Yeah, buddy.
I've been training for Beowulf by actually watching wrestling, which I hadn't done for like 20 years.
He looks sick.
Yeah, definitely. I can't wait to put boot to ass and chair to face. It's going to be great.
You're going to hashtag boots ass, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he better have a rock color, like...
Have you seen the color palette zones? He has palette zones for face mask, like different things. He has color palette like areas for goatees. I think he has one for nipples too, so he can have like pasties.
Ooh. All I'm saying is that if he comes with a chair at all times, he better have a La Parka color. He was the chairman of WCW.
Mm-hmm.
So
chairman, eh?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what they called him. You think that's a joke? No. Go back, watch the footage.
I mean, it is a joke, but
yeah.
It is a joke, but it's not a joke. Yeah, he looks much different than I thought he would be. Like, I honestly thought he would be like some small luchador, but he's huge.
Yeah, and you could see with his leaned forward, strong core that he's going to attack people with. Very much reminiscent of, other, grappling type characters, such as Bullet or Yashiro. That's the sign of a strong core.
That's a good stance.
Low solid balance. Mm-hmm. So you can get ready to topple anyone.
That's sick.
Yeah, he also can fly. He has a
excellent.
His the fact that when he walks back, he's just saying like, bring it, come on, let's do this.
Yeah.
I hope we get a whole bunch of really stupid voice clips that are wrestling references.
Yeah.
There will be probably a ridiculous amount. I mean, wrestling at this point is all in jokes. So
yeah, the good thing about this is that they definitely do their research when it comes to referencing things. So. For Eliza, the character before Beowulf, she has a lot of ton of Egyptian things, and those are well researched. So you know for a fact they're digging deep and bringing in everything they can to the table in regards to a wrestling character.
I just want him to have a super called Doomsday Device. That's all. That's all I'm asking.
Damn.
I want one of his win poses to be where, I don't know, him and his boys, like some stable or something, like jump in at the end or something. Just, totally like have a dumbass, like crazy, everybody runs in spot.
Like just a huge ass faction.
One of his supers is just a big schmaz. Yeah. Everybody runs in.
You mean like Akari Super from Last Blade?
I don't know what that means.
I'm talking to Anthony, not you. You don't know shit about fighting games, man. I thought you knew this.
Damn the diss.
Yeah, pretty much. Just like it's kind of like
played SNK games.
Dude, it's kind of like a Maze Instant Kill,
Oh, okay, there we go. Makes sense now.
Except with more, ghosts and shit.
Oh.
Very scary. It's banned from tournaments because people just get too scared when they see it.
It's too spooky?
Mm-hmm. But, what else? Oh, it'll be cool to see what his tagging animation will be. Is he gonna, like, slide in or something?
I hope that his tagging animation has him, like, holding a tag rope and then he, like, hops over a railing or something like that.
Like, drop kicks you as he comes in. Like, jump over the top rope and, like, boost off of it. Boom.
That would be really sick, actually.
Because, obviously there are some really popular wrestlers out there, but, like, I wonder what is going to be... Is there going to be core specific wrestlers that he's definitely going to try to emulate, or is he just going to be, like, a huge hodgepodge to kind of, like, be his own entity, but, with references to a multitude of things?
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting because, obviously, if you're taking for people who don't necessarily know anything about wrestling, you want to hit the highlights. Obviously, Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Obviously, The Rock. Obviously, Stone Cold.
Ric Flair.
Maybe even Sting. Undertaker. Stuff like that.
So yeah, those are like the super like well known, like even the most layman normal person can like know who those people are. But I wonder if they'll really like get a lot of other things in there because they're like Alex said, they're well read and the things that they do.
Yeah.
So yeah.
How tight would a Hulk up super be? That would be
the no sell super?
Yeah.
Are they gonna give him a diving headbutt?
Let's stay away from the diving headbutt.
How about 16 suplexes in a row?
It doesn't end up going so well for anyone who's ever used the diving headbutt. You might ask Harley Race about that.
Yeah.
You know what would be hilarious is that if they give him like a super or like just a special grab and just call it the ultra suplex hold, just for like Persona.
Wow. Just the polite jab. Like
it'll be like a mash grab. You hit him with ultra suplex hold and you mash it to get a couple extra hits before they like break out of it.
That'd be kind of sick, actually.
Who knows? Maybe they'll make custom like lose animation too. If you beat someone with that, they'll tap out.
That sounds like some Third Strike shit.
Yeah.
But obviously, it's looking like he's pretty early in the development process right now. So I assume we're going to have a little bit while to wait before we see a lot of him fleshed out.
Yeah, Eliza is, I think, near completion. So once she's done, they're probably going to move full force with getting Beowulf up and running.
That's cool.
And
Jesus Christ.
There's one more character after these two, right?
Yeah, after
Yes,
Beowulf.
Robo Fortune.
Yeah, Robo Fortune, exactly.
They have shown some stuff, or at least talked about it in certain panels, but I have not seen it. I wanted to go to the one at EVO, but I was busy working at the Arcade Shark booth. Priorities.
Nice plug there.
Yeah. Buy everything from Arcade Shark. The less products they have, the happier they are, so they can get more stuff to you.
That's pretty much true, yeah.
That was
$9.99. $9.99.
Now, if you guys want to find out a little bit more about wrestling, then subscribe to the WWE Network.
How much is it?
It's only $9.99.
Oh, such a low price. Let's bring out Hulk Hogan to say $9.99.
Such a low price for such a quality product?
Think of the hours upon hours of WWE superstars you can watch in all these pay-per-view events.
To be fair, it is pretty much like an encyclopedia of like anything. Like
yeah, I was gonna say, in my opinion, if you're a wrestling fan, there's no reason you shouldn't have it. But I can totally understand people being like, I don't give a shit.
Be wary of the live events.
$9.99.
It's like if you really want to learn about WWE and other wrestling things, and just be like, I need to go back to the source. It might be worth your time if you have, like a month or two of just stuff to watch. Like, oh no, more than that. It's probably at this point, God. I don't know. If you tallied all the hours together of all the footage, what is that?
A lot of footage.
Yeah.
Are we still shilling this? Like
Yes.
Okay.
Very hard, actually.
Also, Mountain Dew kickstart your summer with Mountain Dew. Totino's, don't buy pizza rolls because they're nuclear. But get the party pizzas.
Also, if you like your chip spicy, be sure to get your Takis.
And just remember, if you actually get the party pizzas, that's not actual cheese on them. I'm just warning you.
At the same time, go buy Skullgirls if you haven't already on Green Man Gaming. It's only $5 for all the colors and the Squiggly DLC. I'm pretty sure Big Band is still free, but $5. I'm sure there'll be plenty of other deals, but you should just stop and get on it now and just get the game, play it, get ready for Beowulf, get excited. Only $5, only $4.99.
Ooh. So speaking of $9.99, because it's actually I have a transition. It works out. Apparently, Reload is coming to PC on Steam.
Can we go back to talking about Takis? Like
we could, but we're not going to.
All right.
The company who brought Iska out on Steam is bringing out Reload on September 5th, and I assume with Iska being priced at about $10, that Reload will be too. It's funny to me that this is happening because I actually had to remember that this game really didn't get much of a United States release. It came out on original Xbox, and it came out on PC in 2005, I believe, is what I heard.
Yeah,
but,
it was late
that's
04,
about right,
middle
yeah.
5. I had it.
But honestly, we never got the PS2 version, which was the one that everybody was using. And we just went straight to... Did we even get Slash? We just got AC,
Yeah.
right?
Arcades got
No, I think you got
Slash.
Slash.
But, yeah.
Okay.
No, we didn't get Slash on a home system anywhere.
I thought
Not
really?
in America.
No,
Oh,
see,
maybe that's what that
we
was then.
We went from Reload on Xbox
Yeah.
straight to
Action Core.
Straight to AC on
excellent.
PS2. And Wii,
And we.
with Waggle.
Remember that day? Remember that day?
Yeah. 2008. I remember that day vividly.
I woke up and I looked at IGN and I said, "What the fuck is happening to this franchise?"
It wasn't just Ascent Core. It was Ascent Core Plus. Not Plus
true.
R.
Right.
But it was just Plus.
Of course, by
Plus
then,
Alpha?
everybody who was playing
Yeah,
Action
plus-
Core was playing on the Japanese PS2 port. So
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Because I actually originally bought my Japanese PS2 for Reload, and then I couldn't find a copy of Reload.
oh,
Well, that pissed me off. Because I ordered them together from PlayAsia, and I got my PS2, and then they're like, "Oh, we're back ordered on Reload, so it'll be a while." And I'm like, "Okay." And then eventually they're like, "Yeah, we're not getting any more, so here's your money back." And I'm like, "Cool, I have nothing to play on this system now."
Isn't that
Assholes.
buy
Isn't
some
that
American
irony?
games.
They're back ordered on Reload?
Yep.
They probably had like 2 copies
No, that sold a lot of copies.
in
At least
America.
on PlayAsia. Yeah.
Oh wow.
PlayAsia
You know-
sold out a couple times.
The really cool thing about, like, I actually, we mock it, but I'm really excited for this Reload release for one reason. I've been working on a time machine to take back, myself and other like-minded fighting game individuals to Evolution 2005, and if we have a PC release, we can just squash this whole thing of having to get Japanese PS2s to play the game at Evo. Like, this will just save us a bunch of time.
Can we not bring back old bad memories?
Imagine how much time this will save us 9 years ago.
Well, we don't even need a time machine. We can just do this at the Pomona event.
Fuck!
Yeah.
Wow.
God, that just hit hard.
Sorry, man.
Yeah,
I was-
Alex. I mean, Chris just straight up told you stupid. He just slapped you in the face when.
No, dude, like, that's actually brilliant. Like,
I
it's
know.
like, it's just like fixing, it's like paying back for old wounds. It's like, guys, I know we had some tough times. But with the advent of computers being the console of choice for fighting games and Reload being released, the stars have aligned. Once again, we can have whoever the fuck that Faust player was beat the shit out of everyone. God, who was it?
I have no idea. Or maybe I do.
I think his name was Mike Wakefield.
Wow.
Jesus. That's fucked up.
Had to be.
By
Faust
the way,
Mike?
I didn't get to bring it up last week, but I totally saw that dude.
Isn't it always RF?
Like, it's always RF.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Mike Wakefield, sorry for no pockets.
No, I was just saying I actually saw him at the Uniel event at Cali Burst. And I took a picture and put it on Alex's timeline, but he never saw it.
I saw it.
You did?
I just didn't want to acknowledge it.
That's some pretty good Photoshop you got there, Chris.
Yeah.
Was he playing Under Night?
He was playing something that I wasn't paying attention to, so probably playing CVS 2. I don't know.
That's not the real Mike
He
Wakefield.
might have been. He was playing Third Strike, but he was playing against Black Rob, which was
that was Whack Makefield, dude. You're fucking lying.
It was Whack Makefield?
Yeah. That was the budget version.
Yeah, that would explain the haircut.
It would. But it's funny. It's funny that they're bringing it out, and I don't really see a point. But maybe some people will be excited.
Well,
Chris just pointed out the perfect point. Like it's
even with that known, we could have just did that anyway, because this game is available for free practically. I mean, everybody who's wanted to play...
It's just becoming available on Steam, and I still don't think they're going to add any infrastructure or anything.
No, and there's already an online... It's not a good online, but they have like a fan-made online thing for this that they've been developing for years, and they were.
Yeah.
And
Reload Online has existed for
long time. It's still not that good, though.
No,
never was.
I'm just saying, you had access to a PC version of Reload for years before this.
Yeah.
And now they're bringing it out, and they want you to pay for it. It's kind of like,
that's about all it is.
Okay. Like, even with Isuka, I could even qualify Isuka with say, hey, I never owned this game, because it was garbage. But
yeah, I was like, why would you want to?
Exactly. I would never at the time I would have never been able to convince myself, hey Chris, you're not doing anything with your life, become an Isuka player, No, I could never get away with that. But now it's almost like a novelty thing. So the fact that this company Kiss decided to bring Isuka out, I was like, okay, that's at least an inventive approach to re-releasing an old game. And then they went to Reload, and I'm kind of like, you guys didn't do your homework.
Chris is patiently waiting for Kiss to release Sengoku Basara X in the United States so that he can do all of the infinites.
Please.
So, not to go back to a previous topic, but I'm doing it anyway. I'm looking at these Beowulf concepts that we were just linked to. This is sick. He's got a vicious drop kick. He's got all these different wrestling moves. God damn.
The question is, when he kicks someone, is he going to slap his leg?
You have to. How's it sound?
For impact.
I mean, like hitting him in the jaw, I don't know.
He's got... Okay, so he's got...
That won't make a loud sound.
Apparently he's got the sweet chin music going on, but he puts his hands on the ground to get more force. So that will knock off someone's head.
Yeah.
This is like a Mortal Kombat fatality.
He's got chair shots. He's got the foot stomp.
He's got a cutter, too.
It looks like he's got a lariat of some kind, like a Texas Tornado type lariat.
Apparently, one of the ideas Mike's throwing around is having him kind of function like vintage Captain America, where he has the shield moveset and he has a unarmed moveset. And since Beowulf operates with a steel chair, there could probably be moves that set up the chair, and then you get access to chairless normals.
So throw the chair at him.
Yeah.
And then beat him up, pick up the chair.
Yeah, because we all remember your shieldless Captain America had better normals.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that's one of the ideas there.
It's a really good idea. And who'd you say came up with this idea?
That was a ye old Mike Z.
Ye old Mike Z. This is a very intelligent man here.
Mm-hmm.
We could have a pretty good transition here about how this really intelligent man chimed in about this article written by some jackoff.
Wow.
Well, what's his name? I think it's like Soup or Fucks or something like that.
Yeah, Super Fucks.
Yeah. Super Fucks.
What a sick name! Now that I think
I
about
know.
it.
Like, think
Soup
about
or
it. It's
fucks.
like, yo, I'm here for soups or I'm here for fucks. What's
It's like, what a selection!
I mean,
Wow.
soup's really good, but
Can I get half soup, half fuck? Like,
but fuck y'all anyway.
He's still waiting for that fucking Super Effects Twitter tag to come up free, and I'm like, dude, just let it go.
It's never happening. I've given up, man. Let it go. Not happening. I have been squatted on times infinity, so I am soup or FX forever.
mm-hmm.
But in case any of you haven't seen it, I sat down and talked a little bit to Mike Z and Omni about the gigantic ass bug list in Street Fighter 4 and what it means.
At this point, I'm almost convinced that Capcom's going to come out and be like, their features. And I'll be like, oh, okay.
Damn.
You don't understand. Like, it's just like we were talking about. Remember, you know, different normals when you have the shield and when you don't. You know, different normals when Cody has the knife and when he doesn't.
like no normal.
Yeah,
Like, I'm glad you brought that up because that was actually one of the biggest points that I wanted to touch upon, where there have definitely been bugs that have existed in older fighting games. The whole canceling into specials being the original bug that immediately became a feature because people liked it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in the case of Ultra, it isn't so much bugs that affect gameplay in the normal way where they allow a character to maybe function outside of what was originally envisioned or allow circumventing of system mechanics. It's just kind of data entry gone wrong. So that's a little different. Like, who knows in these old games, since they're not looked at with such scrutiny, or they're not looked at with such scrutiny by such a large amount of people that have access to these resources and the knowledge to, you know, rip these games apart. Maybe a lot of this stuff does exist in older games. It's just not known. Like, there's obviously been meter glitches before. Sean in Second Impact built more meter with his punches by holding back, like, 3 times the amount. That's something that's just obviously seen. Like, visually, you just look at it and the super meters like skyrocketing in an instant. But when you have these little mistakes in Street Fighter 4 where there's more instances of a meter gain value being wrong that are correct for what is supposed to be a standard across the characters, you kind of wonder, why the fuck did you do it this way? And in the article, it's pointed out by Mike that there's a lot of stuff that was seemingly left up to human error. Because instead of having a set formula in place, it maybe would have taken a bit more work up front in designing the game's engine, which comes up a lot in the case of counter hits. Because counter hits are supposed to be 150% more damage of whatever the move's original value is. So if you have a 100 damage move and a counter hit, you do 150. But instead of having that formula set, they seem to be manually entering values. So you have a lot of instances in that bug list that are just like counter hit move does 100 normally, and then on the counter hit value it does 130, and you're just like, why the... Like, huh? Like, you're not really going to convince anyone that's a feature.
Yeah, it's interesting you bring up old games because we are, you know, if there's one game obviously that we can talk as a walking glitch, it's Super Turbo. And as years have gone by, more people find more things in Super Turbo that seemingly break the system of the game. Obviously, there's a lot of option selects that have been found in Super Turbo in just the last, I'd say, 6 to 7 years tops, which was, you know, already 15 years after the game had been released. So it's hard to say, like you said, whether or not every game has stuff like this. And it's only now that, especially with Street Fighter 4 having a PC release, that people are actually able to crack the game open and look at it and go, oh god, this is a fucking mess.
Well, the thing that's interesting about Super Turbo is that was obviously just stuff mounted upon the original game of Street Fighter 2 just over and over. It's like, let's just keep adding more junk, and then that's why you get stuff like how Red Fireball was originally a visual glitch, because that file was referencing something else.
Yeah.
And then they were like, fuck it, let's just make it into a thing, right?
Yeah.
But option selects, I wouldn't say they're so much of a glitch as they are somebody abusing the way input detection is set up in the game.
Yeah.
Whereas just stuff in Street Fighter 4 that you have moves just working outside of what their intended purpose is because fucking tandem engine suddenly hitting somebody that isn't being juggled fucks up their juggle state. And you just kind of wonder, like, what?
I definitely think that's true, is that while ST has some ridiculous stuff, it's all stuff that's technically working within the way the game is intended to work. It's just outside the parameters that the developers ever thought of.
Yeah. Well,
whereas
I mean,
the stuff like SF4 just doesn't work.
It's stuff like charge or stored supers, like with the charge characters, like Chun-Li and Honda, right? Like they can essentially do walking supers.
Yeah.
That might be considered a glitch. But even then, these are minimal instances, and it's kind of unfair because it's such a small cast compared to what is that, like 20 odd characters to Ultra Street Fighter's over 40?
Yeah.
That's about right.
Yeah, so it's like double the cast, and then you start introducing weirder and weirder game mechanics that don't exist in Super Turbo, like status change supers, where you have things like Genai-Jin, Feng Shui Engine, Seienbu. But when you see how those are fucked up, you just kind of wonder, why is there an entire different set of normals created for a status change?
Yeah.
Like,
I
it's
mean,
just kind of weird.
Yeah. But, I mean, if you look at it, too, you're just like, oh, well, yeah, this is kind of, it's just building on stuff, so, this might just be something you overlook. But that's, like, completely ignoring the fact that, there was a third Street Fighter game, and countless other fighting games that had things that were similar to this. So, I mean, I'm really glad this is another thing. So, I mean, companies probably see it as a, detriment. Fighting game developers hate this, but being on a PC really does give people the ability to debug, which could help companies make their game more reputable. I mean, sure, they're going to have to put in more work and release a less shitty product, but get on it, people.
Yeah, honestly.
Back?
Yeah.
Okay. Your net died, I take it?
It appeared did, and it... Yep.
Chris, just keep talking for like a few seconds. I think you cut off in the middle of that.
Okay. Well, I don't even think we're still live anymore.
No, we're definitely not.
Okay. I'll have to restart that then. The YouTube one is still going, thankfully.
Sick.
Uh-huh. It's just to restart the Twitch one. Okay, we're back. Let me mute.
Oh.
We're back.
All right, thanks, Chris.
Yeah, sorry guys. The network is kicking my ass, so we're gonna try to finish this one stronger than we started.
Yeah. So where was I? Oh, I was saying how, like, obviously stuff can go wrong, and my expertise with coding or programming isn't the greatest, but I talk to people that do it, and some questions can be raised as to why things were set up initially, like allowing human error, where there's always going to be weird glitches in fighting games that seem to be persistent. Like Capcom has always had the one side is different than the other, like one corner works differently than the other, and that exists in almost every version. It exists in Street Fighter 4. And then you have really weird things that actually Spider Carnage pointed out in the chat, how some characters in Super Turbo can't do reversal supers, like or wake up supers, right? That also exists in 4, but only for Relento. It's like, just is that some kind of coding that got fucked up somewhere, or was that checkbox not fucking set off for him?
Yeah, listening to the way Mike talked about it, with all the different checkbox and Omni mentioned it a little bit too. It seems like because of the way they were trying to build onto the game, that they basically compartmentalized too many aspects of it. Instead of creating system-wide rules that the game will be governed by, it basically made every character their own island, which can only lead to possible problems. It doesn't guarantee them, but when you have to check every character individually instead of checking to see if a system-wide system, that sounded dumb, system-wide set of rules was in place, then you're more likely to mess up.
Yeah. Like, there's more room for human error. Like, instead of having counter hits dictated by the character, it's like you could have something set up to where counter hits are dictated by the receiver, like whoever's taking the damage just has, oh, did I get counter hit? Move does this much more.
Yeah.
But the question that comes up from this, beyond, how we view the glitches or mistakes in this case, where it's just like, move doesn't build proper meter on block, or assigns too much meter on block, or EX Tiger Knee actually builds meter.
Yeah.
Where that just honestly seems like it's a copy-paste job where whoever copy-pasted it forgot to do the last step of remove meter build from that particular instance. Because it's an EX move. So, where do people kind of start getting...
Make you more likely to not buy the next game made by Capcom? Does it not affect you? Or you just kind of put your arms up and go, well, it happens to everybody, so it's not going to affect my purchases in the future.
It's an odd thing because... Oh, go ahead, Chris.
I was going to say, I think it depends on your threshold. Like, a lot of people can play anything, Like, they can play, like, the worst program shit you've ever heard and then try to advertise it to you, say it's a great game. And sometimes they're right. But I think the measuring stick pretty much depends on, when's it not enjoyable. Like, if you're a guy who enjoys, like, playing people competitively and then you're, having to deal with shit that's just like, why does this work? This is totally unfair, then it's obviously going to become a problem. If you're just playing casually and, something goofy happens, you're more likely to laugh at it and forget about it because it's not that big of a deal to you. So, I mean, it's almost like they could get away with it because a lot more people are probably buying this game and just thinking like, whatever, I already paid for it and I enjoy Street Fighter, but I'm not too serious about it, You
also have these really weird instances where I think this latest fix also fucked up DeCapre, where her charge time for Psycho Sting is now longer by accident. So you kind of have to wonder, what the fuck are you doing?
It sounds like something was tethered to a move completely unrelated.
That's the thing. It's like I can't even
explain.
Yeah, I can't explain it. I'm not going to even pretend that I can explain it. But it's also one of those things where if you're going to do a copy-paste job, which leaves room for human error, you would probably try to assign equal to, if not more time, to review everything one by one. Because there's a lot of little details that you could look at where, just have Sagat do Tiger Knee 3 times. Okay, now do the EX one. Wait, why the fuck did that build meter? Like, there's some questioning in the QA here. Like, obviously it's a shit job. QA is fucking terrible because there's a billion fucking things you might not even consider, but there's already set parameters for stuff that people should be looking for in testing fighting games. Like, interactions between moves, that's gonna be difficult to do because there's so many fucking characters, so many normals, so many specials, and so many potential ways of pixel-perfect interactions that might happen that you can't be expected to test them.
Right.
But something as, hey, is this move doing the right amount of chip on block? Where it's a set value, you could just look at a chart at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, I figure the best way to do it is, you play the game as it was intended to be played, and if you're coming up with a lot of stuff, you're like, this obviously isn't ready. Like, that's what people have been doing that bought it. They've been playing the game the way we were supposed to play it, Doing everything that they know that's supposed to work, devising strategies around it, and they're still finding instances. From my experience doing QA, a lot of times you're actually looking for stuff that people normally wouldn't be going for, Just trying to purposefully break the game. So those kind of bugs generally, like they let those slide because like there's like those weird things in games where like sometimes character goes through solid wall, which should be a solid wall or something like that. But nobody's ever going to try to do that in a game. Whereas opposed to like character tries to attack opponent and fist goes right through face, does no damage. It's kind of like, why'd you let it out the gate?
And you did bring up a good point where it ultimately comes down to the enjoyment that people are having with the game, right?
Right.
Like, people are excited for the new characters. They really want to try them out. And there's obviously effort being put forth to remedy a lot of these issues. Like, they fixed some of the really easy ones already. And in turn, fuck something else up, which kind of makes you think, are these things kind of tied together? Like, did fixing something else fuck something else up? And if so, isn't that just more of an argument against compartmentalizing characters like that? Because I honestly, of all the glitches that were listed, and I haven't really played Ultra extensively, like I was just kind of happy that Goken had a funny reversal now that's actually really good. The only one I ever ran into was that Poison falls out of it. She just falls out of EX Tatsu. And it's just one of those things. It just, in my head, I was like, all right, don't do it against her.
Right.
Yeah. But when it comes to...
I was gonna say like that. Is that the way that because of the way we've been conditioned to do things? Like we just accept that as like that's just how it is. Poison cannot be hit by this specific setup, and that happens in fighting games all the time.
Right. And what's different in this case is that we have people that are looking at the guts of this thing, and we have a very clear-cut explanation of why that isn't working. And when it's something as a hitbox is fucked up, then you start getting into that weird area where like, all right, that might be kind of odd to manage because changing a hitbox on either move might start making it interact completely differently. Like you get the whole HDR syndrome,
right? Where
in fixing one thing to fix a matchup, you end up screwing something else up. Like what was it? Cammy's jump in was altered so she could deal with some matchups better, and then all of a sudden she started functioning way differently than it was expected. That's going to cause some problems. But if it's something like DJ's close normals don't give you the frame advantage they're supposed to on counter hit, and there's more instances of that being wrong than there is being correct because there's a set value that was put forth by the developers originally, which was lights give you this much on counter hit, which is I think like +2, mediums give you +3, fierce is +4, and your mediums are giving you +2. You're just kind of like, I'm not pleased. You're lying to me.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is really just going from, say, AE 2012 to this one. Are the changes or the errors or whatever enough that you stopped having fun with the game? Like, that's the big thing for me. Or is the game, in general, did you feel like, from a couple years ago that there were too many things in the game that just didn't make it fun? And I think that's the hugest thing to walk away from all of this is that we're looking at this now from a complete breakdown standard. So we basically know what's been going on behind the curtain the whole time. Are you mad that Oz is a little man with a smoke machine? Or are you just like, well, he always was, so what's it matter?
Well, here's the crazy thing about that is because for the competitive scene, that's already a sell. When Capcom factors in all that stuff, they don't have to purposely make it stupid, but they can kind of relax a little bit because they know that there's like, people plan their years around their games. Capturing the more casual audience, as I brought up before, might be a little more difficult, and they have to worry about that. But at the same time, those guys also aren't too picky about things like this more often than not. So it's almost like, I don't want to like put them in a position where they have to explain themselves for being lazy or whatever the hell they did, but there's definitely an argument for it.
Well, I think there's an argument for it, but the interesting thing is that does any of this really affect competitive play as it stands? Like, knowing this, is it going to really affect anything?
We don't know yet.
I kind of say no. Because people already found out like some of the bigger things, like Alex was suggesting about Poison falling out of Goken's Hurricane Kick. I think people knew that from, the day Ultra came out without having to look at a big list of glitches. They're like, wow, this just doesn't work. That's kind of dumb. and then they moved on with their lives. Now, it has definitely soured people on Ultra, which is probably why this list has become a bigger thing than the list of glitches that people found when the game had been released on PC originally. But I honestly don't think in the long run it's really going to stop or alter the direction of competitive Street Fighter 4.
I don't think it will either. I think nothing short of like a move that literally freezes the game would do that.
Yeah. I do think that I don't want to call it an outcry, but the complaints and the fact that it's getting a bit bigger notice in the community might force Capcom's hand into fixing some of the more egregious stuff, like Relento not having a wake-up super.
Ouch.
But I think that a lot of the stuff is going to go. I think like all the meter bugs are not going to get fixed.
That's big though. I mean, like even SNK fixed their meter bugs for KOF 13.
The thing that's interesting about the meter bugs is that they, without knowing that much more, is that they just honestly seem like data entry, where it's like they just probably entered the wrong value or they copied an original value, not taking into account changes that have been made, through the game's now 5-year history.
Yeah.
So
6.
Jesus. Fuck, that got me thinking.
You're like, damn, I'm old.
Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah, man.
Anyway.
09ers are established members of the community now.
Yeah, we can't even.
Congrats. You made it. You stuck around.
Looks like we made it.
But
that's probably going to get muted now.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
well, you fucked us over, dude.
I'm sorry.
The other question I had is, how much shit are people willing to buy? Because we've gotten games before and they've had glitches or they had these things, and obviously with fighting games being a lot more popular, stuff is going to get found out a lot quicker, right? So we have glitches coming up way faster, like stuff like the Sentinel blockable spit in MVC2. That was later toward the ends of the game's life.
Yep.
Other little things like that are discovered kind of late, but with so many people looking now and so many people playing, these kind of things are discovered a lot quicker. When we have something like this that is obviously not polished, where do you just kind of stop and go, fuck you? You sold me shit.
Yeah.
Like, if you're having fun with it, that's fine. You can definitely not even bring up that point. But if you're somebody that is completely fucked over by these changes, like maybe you're a character specialist and DJs, meter gains, combos, and whatever the fuck just don't work because everything's screwed up, you might be upset. And you might have really good reason to be upset. They sold you shit.
Yeah. It becomes one of those things where you always have to decide for yourself where your threshold is.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, I wanted to like this game, but X, Y, Z, and sometimes you have to just say, now I can't support it anymore. Because expecting a company to listen to you when you continue to support them and continue to give them your money is just not happening.
It's hard. Like, you've got to vote with your wallet, man.
You really do.
And I think, at least with Capcom, they've made an effort to, listen to the community, so that's at least a plus. They definitely know about this stuff, and they know how we're feeling.
Yeah, and they're definitely making some effort, to move forward. And they fixed a few things already, like I mentioned, which caused a few other problems, but, obviously that's going to be another thing on their checklist to fix. But who knows how long is that going to take? If Ultra with its year life or year time to get developed, you have to wonder if this is a year's worth of mistakes, how long is it going to take them to fix?
Yeah.
Because there's all the other testing that they need to do. They can obviously fix some of the data entry stuff reasonably quickly if that's not tied to anything else. But then when you start going into system mechanics where DJ's juggle points are all fucked up on some of his moves, Seth's tandem engine fucks things up, Feng Shui engine is an entire different set of normals that function differently, have weirder hitboxes, that might take a bit more work. And you have to wonder, what other things could this be potentially fucking up? Like, it's like you go into somebody's room, and there's a poster in like a really weird spot, and it has a lot of tape over it on one side, and you try to peel it off, and you realize that was like holding the entire wall together. It's like, no, that was a load-bearing poster. And you just fucked their house up. Like,
Yeah, pretty much.
like that could be what happens when you give Rolento a wake-up super. And suddenly he does wake-up super, and the game crashes. I mean, that'd be the coolest thing ever, though, where you just build meter with Rolento and be like, man, if I'm ever on the ropes,
just let it rip.
I ain't gonna lose.
I love Rolento Super, where he throws like one singular firecracker behind him as he rolls backwards at a speed of half a mile an hour.
Yeah, Minesweeper isn't the most intimidating thing in this game.
What are you talking about?
Just visually, doesn't have a crunch to it. Doesn't pop.
But yeah, that's a good question to pose to people. I think that's what there should be, like, some more discussion about what, people expect. Because, like, nobody really has come out and said what they expect to come out of Capcom. Which is interesting because, like, you ask anybody of any other player or fan of another, like, of another franchise or another company, and you ask them, like, hey, what do you expect from X company? And they'll probably be able to tell you, like, I expect, big normals or cute chicks or broken mechanics because they're just known for, like, doing stuff like that. But with Capcom, nobody really says, oh, I expect top quality, even though they probably do.
For over 20 years, I expect you guys to at least know how to make the game that, you've been making for over 20 years. That's all I asked for, right? I mean, you've had time to, like, really work with the formula and really hammer out these, like, these are legitimately just, like, rookie mistakes, This is
That's what
stuff
I'm wondering about. Is this, like, a rookie team that worked on it? Like,
I don't
it's not
know.
Dimps.
No,
Yeah,
it was definitely not Dimps.
This was definitely somebody else that they contracted to do it. I think, I can't say this on authority, but I think the company's name's like Q-Lock or something like that. Because it's not one of those things that you can easily find out.
Yeah.
But, there's been some rumblings as to who it was.
We do have one way of finding out. We do have our resident fact checker here.
Oh, is Badoofus here?
Yeah,
what,
Badoofus
the intern?
can check.
He's in chat.
Badoofus, please let us know if what are they called again? You said Q-Tip the rapper.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Q-Tip, yeah.
Okay.
No,
he's
wait,
back
fuck, I'm sorry.
to
No.
Press.
It was Q-Tip and Tone Loc.
Man, super intern Badoofus is back. We owe him, like, 8 months of back pay.
That funky cold Medina.
Dimping ain't easy. Ain't that the truth?
Yeah, man, Dimps
Well,
is...
okay, so if you look them up, Q-Lock has an official announcement that says they did the porting for Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition, and that was in 2011. So,
So they've been working on it since before this.
yeah, so that's something else to take into consideration. Like, if it was
That's
Dimps,
just that is just a port, though. That's not necessarily the actual design.
yeah, but you have to think about it. If it's not Dimps working on it anymore, and you just kind of hand somebody like, "Hey, here's some code to work with," and you're like, "Oh, fuck."
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a bit
Yeah.
much. But I mean, because the PC version was 2012, right? It was already 2012 at the time. For
Yes.
Super.
Mhm.
So I mean, yeah, that's definitely something different. But I mean, even if it was like that, you'd think that they would have made a more streamlined engine for it, considering they're like, we make this engine with upgrades of possibilities so that we can change stuff easily and blah blah blah. But maybe
think,
you can change too much with too little being automated.
I think it was Omni that brought up the good point that maybe this was designed without updates in mind. Like maybe they were just like, we're going to release vanilla Street Fighter 4, which to them was just going to be Street Fighter 4. And there wasn't any idea that there was going to be a Super or an Arcade Edition.
Well,
or an Arcade 2012.
The thing is, after Super, they said that they wanted to make it they made the game's engine itself with updates in mind after they released Super. So that's why we had AE as a digital upgrade in 2012 being patched like that.
I believe that because AE was definitely a planned upgrade because there was no way they were going to release Super on console and then just not on arcade.
They even made sure that when they released Super that they kind of had it future-proofed in mind. You know, they were like, we want to make it so that we can do this. So, you know, roll ahead like 3 years and here we are, just with, you know, 5 new characters and a bunch of garbage. It's like the dude pulled out his Christmas lights and they're just all tangled up.
No, it's not that you pulled out the Christmas lights. It's that you pulled your Christmas lights out of the attic and just handed it to somebody else to put them up.
Yeah, I guess.
They handed it to
actually
Griswold, Chevy Chase.
It's it really is sort of like the idea of Christmas lights where you have the one bulb that's burnt out that's actually caused the whole string to burn out.
And then you find they're all burnt out.
You figure out which bulb it is.
And then you electrocute yourself.
Just you, Chris. Just you. But yeah, that's kind of all that. It's a really interesting, weird situation that I don't know. I'm not playing Ultra, so I can't really speak too much about how it's got a feel for people who really enjoy the game.
I mean, yeah. Definitely people who still like the game, even with all of its faults, you know.
I mean, I guess we like to hear from them because there's still people who are playing. Like, there's more people playing it than there was people playing AE 2012, like 4 months ago. So
yeah.
So it's kind of like it's obviously doing something right. Will it last though? I don't know. And if it doesn't last, we can't even blame it on the bugs because that's how fighting games go after a certain amount of time. So.
Oh yeah. The only thing
that's got a shelf life.
Yeah, the only thing that keeps fighting games alive are the players.
Yep. So.
Because I mean, 10 years down the line, if they're still trying to play a Street Fighter 4, and they're shoveling $1 trillion to the prize pool or whatever, and it's like,
damn,
people aren't playing it, they ain't playing it, you know?
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. Doesn't matter how much money you can force into it or anything you can try to do. If people aren't going to play a game, they're not going to play it.
True that. So, we got anything else for today?
Play Uni-L.
Well, yeah. I should actually do undernight streaming like I said I would, but things have been so hectic these last couple of weeks.
Me. My name is Walkman. I'm moving. I can't stream.
Paul, could you not do that anymore? Now we're going to have 3 people that sound exactly alike on this podcast?
Oh, my bad. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
It would be 4. I mean, you, Walkman, and Kelly all sound identical, and now Paul's joining in on this, and that's just terrible.
Thigh highs.
Oh,
you know, I haven't heard anything about the Bay lately, so I think they can't sound that much alike.
I heard Tony is moving to the Bay.
Well, I'm actually in the Bay right now.
Oh,
well,
shit.
He's literally.
I guess technically it's the South Bay?
That's
the
lewd,
the Bay is the Bay.
Lewd.
He's in the Bay right now. He's literally broadcasting from a kayak.
Wow.
How do you do that?
Yeah, I was about to say, where's he plugging it?
I'm trying to catch some home run balls, okay? Get off my back.
You're trying to catch some balls? All right.
Some home run
some balls in the Bay.
Balls.
Y'all are a bunch of 3rd graders. I can't believe I'm
3-year-old graders.
Are we 3-year-old graders?
I like how you latch on to... This is like the typical internet argument. Like, some guy makes a well-thought-out post, and it's like, he spelt this word wrong. Let's attack him. He used the wrong form of there.
Okay, I would literally just destroy you for using the wrong form of there.
Look, I'm going to tell you right now.
Well, here's the thing. Instead of using the wrong... There's one form of there you can always use. You just go there, and then that's it.
Right dirt.
And all of it works.
You should know more than anybody. You always exploit weaknesses.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like if you.
Oh yeah, but the thing is, you're exploiting my weakness. So what I'm doing is I'm using a strawman argument for your literary generalizations.
Did you just say you're using a strong bad argument? You mean to tell me you just put on some boxing gloves and you're just mashing on your keyboard?
I can't even do it.
I'll kill you. Like, your best thought-out argument. I'm just gonna go right after all your grammatical errors, your misspellings, and just ad hominem the fuck out of you. Like, and not even address any of your points.
You should see me in the wrestling ring. I'm gonna bring you down like Whoopi Goldberg.
Man, don't try to see me no YouTube comments.
Isn't that a wrestler?
No.
No, it's just
I hate you. Whoopi Goldberg. I just imagined the pyro and the smoke and Whoopi Goldberg walking out with all the security team, and it's
and she's
pretty good, actually.
What the fuck am I doing here?
English is my second language. American is my first.
Oh, excuse me, sir. Excuse me.
Fuck all y'all. USA! USA!
I was watching the Beverly Hillbillies movie today, and I totally get that, so, yeah, I respect it.
Chris, you brought up a good point. So Whoopi Goldberg's a decent actress, right?
Yes.
No.
Can she sell a chop? Like,
the real question is, can she sell the WWE networks? Only $9.99.
I want to answer that because Whoopi Goldberg has something working for her that not a lot of other people, especially wrestlers, do have. It's one thing. It's something that Booker T had in common with her. It's not skin color. It's the hair.
mm-hmm.
Seeing somebody's dreads just go whipping to the side after they get knocked the hell out is like the funniest shit ever.
That also is a pretty good selling point. Like you see the hair like fly back, you're like, man, that had some impact.
Right. Like whenever you see like Booker T sell a move, you see the dreads just like go wild, and you're just like, damn, that looked like it hurt. Like knock the dreads off that boy.
It's like a cat of nine tails. He's whipping himself with his hair.
Later on, we're gonna see a tweet from Chris come up, like telling the WWE he wants Whoopi Goldberg as the guest GM of Raw for the next.
I heard she's gonna be in WWE 15 with Sting.
Wow!
Oh my God!
2 generations of Sting. 2 generations of Sting.
It's all about Surfer Sting.
That is. Pro Sting was a buster.
Yeah.
Crow Sting is just. I mean, it was cool, but I mean, he got paid to stand in the rafters for like 8 months.
Like, what a sick
I'd take
gig,
that
right?
job.
Like, hey, what do you do all day? I stand in really high places. Every now and then I drop.
And I have a baseball bat.
Yep.
Okay, that's it.
You ever seen like those Velveeta cheese commercials where like those people are just like in their like they're like doing like these day jobs or like middle of the night kind of shit, like, and they're just like, man, I'm hungry. All I got is this hot plate and this bowl of Velveeta cheese. I can see like Sting doing one of those from the fucking rafter.
What?
Like sitting up. You ever seen those commercials?
He's just like camping up in the rafters.
Yeah,
like,
just
what's
eating
wrong
Velveeta
with
cheese
you?
up the bowl, man. Just like put it on a hot plate. They're like, Vince Russo's like, hey man, you're on. It's like, hey, don't disturb me while I'm eating my Velveeta.
Since we're already off topic and somewhat on topic, how long will it take until wrestlers have sponsored moves where it's like someone does the rock bottom and the rock comes out, but they just call it the Baja Blast?
Baja Blast rock bottom.
He hit him with the Baja Blast rights reserved. Oh!
I don't think it would get there that quickly. I think you would have the stepping stone where you would have like the Tombstone Pile Diver brought to you by Takis, like
brought to you by Tombstone Pizza. You
Undertaker asks you what you want on your tombstone beforehand.
Like how sick would that be? He pile drives you, and then he just like whatever topping they selected, he just kind of dices it off on them. Like they wanted pepperoni, he slices it straight off.
Just cuts it off.
They wanted some peppers, he just throws that shit in their face.
Wow.
Here comes the hot barbecue sauce.
Oh my God, he cut him in half, much like this ionizer cuts all the germs out of this. I mean, there's definitely plenty of room for marketing in there.
It's getting there.
If you're hearing me, Vince, I got big things we could talk about.
It's getting there because they're actually telling wrestlers to change the names of their moves, like just arbitrarily. Like
Yeah, this move's cool, but can we use more like X's and Z's in it?
Yeah.
All
Steve
right.
Adams coming back with the Cold Stone Stunner, where he just has a fucking
The Cold Stone.
The Cold Stone Stunner. He's just got hella toppings on you.
and he sings to him the entire time.
He
Oh
slams
my
you down.
God.
He slams it's like a 4-on-4 match, and he just keeps slamming them into each other, and then he mashes them all up, and he rolls all of them up, and then pins them.
he just
So what he does,
Oh God!
stuns
The
the
Cold
entire,
Stone Stunner.
stuns the entire McMahon family. Like it, love it, gotta have it.
That's gonna be his thing. He's gonna walk out there, instead of having 2 beers, he just has like a cookie dough and like an Oreo cookie like container in both hands smashed against his head.
God.
If you tip him $1, does he have to sing?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what happens.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, so this here 10-minute rant on whatever the hell these guys went on doesn't represent what SDR stands for.
Oh, what do we?
I'm kidding. This perfectly represents what SDR stands for. This is exactly what we are. This is who we are. This is what we've been. Okay, we've toned it down. We're a bit better now, but we're still stupid.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Stupid Desperation Radio.
There you go. Thank you. I was gonna go into that. I was just hoping someone else would say it, because the Cold Stone Stunner.
Come on, it's brilliant.
It writes itself.
Why did we think of this 10 years ago?
Think about it. They can't do Attitude Era Stone Cold anymore. He can't have beers and all this crazy shit flipping people off. Instead, he's singing to them and smashing Oreo cookies and cookie dough together. Like,
It's brilliant.
Yeah. And then what if they cross promote with like other established things? Like, what if the People's Elbow was the People's Football Team's elbow?
no, what if it was the People's Choice Award elbow?
And the award goes to, and then boom, slams him.
And whoever the last People's Choice Award winner was, that music just starts playing. Like, fucking.
Wow.
Yeah.
The choke slam could be the life alert slam.
He's falling in. He can't get up.
And suddenly it goes off.
Oh, there, and can't get up.
Oh my god.
Go with the match. His life alert's going off.
God.
So pretty sure this. We're gonna title this episode, just the Cold Stone Stunner. That's
It's $9.99.
Just $9.99, dude. Speaking of which, subscribe. $4.99. Come on, everybody.
That's right.
$4.99 is about half of $9.99.
Yeah,
That's right.
you
About
subscribe.
half, not exactly half, but it's around there somewhere.
And if you have, say, $17, subscribe to I Play Winner, and then subscribe to the WWE Network.
Yeah,
But why do they need 17 for that?
Because with the other dollar, they can buy, Mountain Dew Kickstart.
Oh no, they can buy the Baja Blast. That's what.
Yeah, see?
For every subscription to IPW.
But does that cover the CRV charge?
That's a good question. I don't know. I have to think about it.
And speaking of subscribing, we on SDR will be doing raffles later, like legitimate raffles, not stupid ones where you give us stuff.
We raffle stuff together.
We're not 100% sure how it's going to be done yet. I'm thinking of doing the subscriber model, where if you're a subscriber to iPlay Winner, you're automatically entered in the raffle, but obviously we need more subscribers.
Yeah.
So we'll see how this goes.
Right,
At the same time, we could raffle off some of Lord Walkman's personal things that he doesn't really want anymore, or doesn't have
it in the car.
I'm just gonna say, I definitely have some stupid Tron Bond and Disgaea figures and shit, and Iron Man. I got all those kinds of crap. I think I have a Super Metroid Samus toy extra figure.
He also has a San Francisco Giants hat that he lost because
I don't know where it's at, so I don't have it anymore.
Really shitty hat, so that's gone.
I actually have a lot of junk. I got.
Yeah, like that hat.
Well, shut up. I got a whole bunch of Mega Man toys and shit.
Wait,
and they're all boxed up too.
We need to talk.
He's like, don't even try to put these out there.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. You can own some of Lord Walkman's personal merchandise. That means absolutely nothing. It's probably worse than if you bought it at the store brand new.
Please don't.
Damn.
And if that's not good enough, for every subscription, Walkman will do 10 squats.
Yeah, actually, I probably will. I'm gonna build a power rack at some point.
If by the end of next year you donated and Walkman doesn't have the sickest booty,
The real point of squats is not only getting in shape, but also so that my knees don't just pop out randomly.
Oh, that's
You're going to have to do a lot of that.
Anthony, I'm letting you know right now that doesn't work.
That doesn't happen.
Muscular
I'm just
structure.
saying, I do a shit ton of squats just about every day, and my knees still pop like the. It's bad.
It's a fun day when you have to find the knee and put it back in its proper position.
Operation.
Where did it go? It's like Blue's Clues. You guys see a clue? A knee?
Yeah,
Where's the knee? There it is.
Can you point out to the knee children? Please, for the love of God, hurry up.
All right, I think we're out of here.
Actually,
We're beyond done.
We got
What?
one last item. I just wanted to
Oh
point
my
this out.
God! No.
This is it. This is it. We're leaving. We're walking away from this. I just really want CM Punk to come back so we could have the Go to Sleep, sponsored by Sleepy Time Tea.
Oh my God!
Is that chamomile tea? You want to take a nap?
That shit'll put you out. Like, that's the coziest bear ever.
Yeah, I was about to say he's just wearing like a cozy.
He's got the
Got his smoking jacket on. He's all cozy.
Yeah. He's got
Some
like
slippers,
the onesie
maybe.
pajama, like the onesie
Oh
pajama.
man!
And
got
then
the footies.
he's got the footy pajama. Got the cat on your lap. Got like the tea set up on a table with some toast and some marmalade on that bitch. Like, this guy is ready to nap, complete with the hat. Like, imagine CM Punk putting the hat on them and then kneeing the shit out of them.
Hi, kids. We're home early.
No,
We're done here.
no, not
We're
that
done
one.
here.
Hold on, Anthony. Hit him with the new one. Hit him with the new one.
Just a new one.
The new one. Yeah.
All right, we're out of here.
I'm pretty sure we're getting sued now.
The whole show's muted.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. You'll never hear it again. So, from everybody here at Super Desperation Radio, good night and good luck.